tough one. Like, how do you manage your growing audience? Because here's the thing: eventually, you're going to get what you want. And as a business coach, I would be remiss. I'll be doing a disservice if I didn't say this. I say this to all my clients. You're eventually going to get what you want. If you stay persistent, consistent, as we talked about in reference to Nilfer's book and all that, you're going to eventually get what you want in some form. It might come in a different package, but you're eventually going to get what you want, right? Once you get that abundance, how you manage it, how you handle it, mentally, emotionally, even physically, you got to make sure that you're fortified, that you're grounded. Because if you're not, that can go to your head. You can get a windfall of money and then just blow it. Like, I've been in those different situations, and you want to make sure that that stuff that you've been asking for, that you're actually ready for it. The audience for this channel, exactly a year ago, there was about 600, maybe 500 subscribers. Now there's 18,000 of y'all. That just happened within the last year. The only reason I bring that up is that no matter what we're doing, there's going to be a certain moment where things will move. And that stuff we've been asking for will suddenly be here. So the question is, if you have an audience of, let's say, 100,000, and you're used to having an audience of 1,000, then how are you actually going to take care of them? What are you going to do? And how will you make sure that you serve them in the same way that you serve them when things are way more intimate? This is a good video to watch. Episode also came out, I think, about a year ago. How to build a following and maybe go viral. I've had big moments, like books that have gone number one, or, as I mentioned with Cutler, with the startups, or even some episodes of this channel that have suddenly caught on fire, including recently. Those moments don't matter if you don't have a system in place to take advantage of that moment and or to continue to serve folks. If you're saying, I want an audience of 10,000 people for this new book that I have, but you don't have a good relationship with the printer and they can only do 10 copies at a time, then it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people that are pre-ordering. You're not ready for it. I got books in my closet. This is my office. I got books in my closet right now. Just in case y'all want some, it's at damonbrown.net, and I can sign them and have them to you in a few days. You have to have your stuff prepared and organized when you get that moment that you've been asking for. This video talks about that. We talk about, particularly when it comes to videos, we talk about, or even social media, which whole nother discussion. I've had long keynotes and stuff about social media. Just go to bringyourworth.tv and you'll hear my big discussions about social media. Maybe we'll do it for a future live episode since we're doing a lot of lives here in September. But it might be a social media post. It might be a video. It might be whatever. And suddenly skyrockets. Okay, then what? Depending on the situation, you might get a little bit of money from it. But then are you prepared to continue to serve that audience? I've been really thankful in that a lot of my success, quote unquote, came late. So by the time I had a best-selling book, I'd already done 9 of them. My first best-selling book was in 2010, and I had been writing books since 2006, 2007. Yeah, I think it was like my 10th book. Even with this show, the 18,000 of y'all that are coming through now, the show's about to have its 3rd anniversary. So for 2 years, I just had a few hundred of y'all coming through, and I kept showing up for y'all. But the beauty about that, which I talk about here, is that those of you that are coming through the door, you caught a viral video of mine or whatever, you have, was this episode 344? You have 343 episodes that you can rock with. You have 26 books, soon to be 27, that you can catch up on. So it's a matter of creating and building for those audiences that you know are there. So that when you do have that moment, That jump off, as we used to say, when things jump off, suddenly, suddenly you're able to go ahead and serve that audience in a magnitude, and you're able to keep that audience going. A lot of you that have rocked with me from the early days are still rocking with me, which I appreciate a lot. Part of the reason for that is that I've kept serving y'all. Whether I was under the weather, I was on book tour, whether it was a pandemic, I kept showing up for y'all. We have to do that for the audiences and the communities we want to serve. If you're focused on going viral, it has to be bigger than just, I want to be hot today. Particularly nowadays, I have a whole discussion about that because, again, I come from a magazine and newspaper background. So I remember doing articles, and they would be the talk of the town or the city, or in some cases, the country for that period of time. So I used to write for the New York Post and some of the bigger publications. And you'd have like a week or a month where that article will be talked about, you'd be making that particular impact. And I've been in the game long enough, you know where I'm going. And some of y'all don't know any better because you're younger than me. Whatever that spotlight is, it's tiny. So that moment you have in the sun, that moment when people are paying attention to your work, that's the moment when you're able to say, I have this, I've been building this for you. Come on into the community. It's not when things blow up and then suddenly you're like, oh, I should make content. Well, I should write more books. No. You build while other people are sleeping. And then if you do that, then once people wake up to what you're doing, it's a whole different ball game. A great book that talks about this, and all of his books talk about this, is one of the reasons why I talk about him so much. Seth Godin's This Is Marketing. I have just a digital copy. I don't have a physical copy, but it's just an orange book with his bald head on there. I think I'll be looking like him within a few years. Shout out to Seth. Fantastic book. It's the second to last book, I think. Came out probably about 2-3 years ago. I love the title of this. Excuse me. I love the title of this because when we think of marketing, we often think of, oh, well, this person works with PR and or marketing. Okay, I'm going to try to sell people on this. No, actually, marketing, according to Seth, and I would agree with him, marketing is when you say, hey, I know where you and folks similar to you, the audience, is going. Here, if you're doing the late nights, early mornings, you got your side hustles going, why don't you have a mug? Put your tea, put your coffee, put your cha, whatever in there, something stronger if you're of age, put it in there. And then you can look in the mirror or look down when you're having a rough time. You could say, I'm going to bring my worth today. That's marketing. Not from the standpoint of, I'm going to make money off y'all. And not from the standpoint of, I'm going to hustle you, take this mug or in this t-shirt. It's more like, no, these are certain ideas, certain principles, and certain symbolism of what you as an audience care about. Here, as Seth Godin says, here, I made this. If it's not for you, cool. But if it is, I'm going to make it 500% clear of who it's for and who it's not. This mug is for you. This t-shirt is for y'all. This t-shirt is not for, the million dollar Silicon Valley folks. It's not, no shots at them. Some of them are my friends, but it's not for them. It's for you. That's marketing. It's not for everybody. Marketing is a discussion of saying, this thing is for this particular person, for you. I will use my skill set to make it clear that it is for you. I'm not going to hustle you about it. I'm going to get all the details, and then you will realize that it's perfect for you. I love Seth's works, and I love Seth. Shout out to Seth. I always appreciate you. Fantastic book. It might be my favorite book of his as of late. He has some excellent books too. All the links are in there, and there's quite a few episodes at bringingworth.tv that talk about Seth Godin. Obviously, I'm a fan and a mentee, so I rock with him. Last parting thought, and feel free to put in any last-minute questions as I wrap up, because I'm already over time because of the technology stuff. Why you don't need more press. You're like, Damon, You're a former and current journalist. Why are you saying you don't need more press? What I'm saying is, let me put the bar down because my hands are going to start going. What I'm saying is that I've seen it from both sides. So when we built up Cuddler and me being the COO, I was talking to a lot of people in the press and getting a lot of press. And obviously, as a longtime journalist, I'm used to companies, startups, founders like myself, maybe like you, coming and saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this and do that. Why don't you cover us in Inc. magazine? Why don't you cover us in whatever, whatever?" The thing is that press alone will not build you an audience. We got when we did Cuddler a handful of years ago, the startup that we sold, we got the cover of the Wall Street Journal. It was fantastic. In fact, it was the week of the Consumer Electronics Show, which I live right down the street from the Strip. So it's right down the street from where I live now, ironically enough. But it was before we moved here. And it was a fantastic week to do it because all the tech literati, if that's the right word, even though it's usually used for literature, were there. Fantastic. It made us the number one app in the world that day, that Friday in January. I share this story because we were already the number one app 3-4 months before when we were released that September. We became the number one app that second week of our release. The last week of September. In other words, us being on the cover of the Wall Street Journal did not make us hot. We were hot already had an audience of 250,000 people using the app to hug other people. 4 months later, the Wall Street Journal decided to do a feature article on us talking about the cuddle economy. The reason I bring this up is that we get confused sometimes, all of us, including me, that we get an article written about us and suddenly we have an audience. It's usually the reverse. We build the audience and there's enough buzz so that article is written about us, and that keeps momentum going. I talked about it in the live a couple of days ago when it comes to making a bigger business. And often, whether it's a book agent or a speaking agent or whatever, for us to get represented, we already have to have a buzz. What the agent or representative does is they put gasoline on that fire or spark we already started. So as you're thinking about building your audience and as you're working through what it means to have a community, keep in mind that having an article or hunting down journalists or pushing for an article to get written, that's not going to get you your audience. What will get you your audience is all the stuff we talked about throughout this show, and hopefully all the resources that are shared here, including the videos and the books. Work on those things, and then the press will come. Build it, and they will come. Feels like a good place to stop. Thank you so much for the comments, and hopefully there's some insights for you too. Come to you every Wednesday and Sunday, except for this month, I'm doing a live every single work day. So you'll be seeing me actually tomorrow for more profit in 2024. Who doesn't want that? Like I said, it's almost set fourth quarter. Be the plan. I'm definitely working on mine. In case you missed it, make 2024 profitable, the business live stream marathon. Particularly if you're new to the show, it's a marathon of all the live business episodes from last year. Be sure and check it out. You guys can be really enjoying it. Don't miss out on that. And again, it's great for the audio. So even if you're outside playing with the kids, taking a long commute, it's definitely that kind of vibe for sure. And that's how you grow your audience for 2024. Thank you for all your insights and for your feedback. And hopefully the books will help you get on your way. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Remember, you can always bring your worth. You can always build from now. Take care of yourselves.